Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Priyanka. I'm a PhD scholar from Pilani, Hyderabad, India. Today, I'm here to present my work. I just press allow, understanding the privacy practices, perceptions of privacy of new internet users in urban India. This is a joint work with Sri Lekha, Srishti, and my advisor, Professor Dipanjan Chakraborty. So, the main emphasis of my work is to understand the user perceptions on the new users perceptions on internet and how privacy works according to them. So this is a qualitative study conducted with 50 participants, and it is conducted in urban and peri-urban India. So in this, we understood what we studied that how privacy is actually understood, negotiated, rather than how the privacy policies want the users to understand privacy. So here, I just want to talk about new internet users. Who are the new internet users? Firstly, in the prior work, they were defined as a part of them are defined as new internet users. Sorry, next billion users or emergent users. Now we define the new users of internet as the people with little or no formal training in digital devices in academic workarounds, and they don't know about heavy text interfaces, and they don't often use English as their working language. So, why should we concentrate on new internet users among all the people? All the policymakers, they concentrate on educated people or through the companies. But in India, the population, the smartphone usage has improved rapidly from 13% to 55% between 2014 to 2025. And all the devices, they're not defined, they're not made for the growing population. They are for most literate users. So that's the reason we wanted to concentrate on the new use of internet, and we did a study with them. Our motivation is, oh, I'm so sorry. Here we compound into we three things compound here. The first one is interface and the consent flows. They assume that the people, whoever sees the policies, they are literate and English fluent individuals that make a decision. And here the devices are shared in our country, but the devices are not made according to them. Only one person can use a device, and most of the apps, they request sensitive data, which causes data breaches and identity theft. So this sets up three research gaps that motivated our study. The first one is limited interpretability. The prior work focuses on technical stuff like consent mechanism, but it not adequately examined how the users understand privacy. The next one is underexplored trust network. So existing research, it often assumes the decision is individual, but according to our study, most of the participants are affected by their family's decisions also. Lack of socio-cultural fit. So framework emphasizes on technical robustness, but it will not consider the new internet users. So this leads to our research questions. How household relationships shapes privacy decisions, what are the informal workarounds people use, and why people consent despite a mistrust. So we did a qualitative study in three steps. The first one is recruitment. We recruited the participants from urban and peri-urban India, and we did a convenience and snowball sampling. And the second one is semi-structured interviews. We each interview took around 45 to 60 minutes, and all of them were connected in their native language, as you saw with I did with my team. So it was done in their native language, and before we did a pilot study with 10 participants, and then we continued our work. And the last one is thematic analysis. Uh, so our sample with 50 participants, 26 were women and 24 were men, and their age group is between 19 to 58, and their education levels are from no schooling to post graduation. They are recruited through community centers or word of mouth or educational institutions. So from our coding, we had 322 coding references, which we divided into 5 themes. And in those themes, fear of exposure and harm and everyday workarounds are the largest themes, which were followed by the other 3 themes. So I'll walk you through them individually. The first one is designed consent. So here, in our study, what we understood is that the permission prompts, whenever we get a prompt to allow or deny, whenever they ask for our camera or permissions for locations, it doesn't sound meaningful for them, because if they don't press allow or they don't accept the conditions, anyways that app is not gonna work, or they're not able to use all the features in that application. So instead of giving those, they are pressurizing the users to grant the permissions. We also understood that users believe their data persists even after they uninstall an app. So again, when they reinstall it, all the information is present. They're not considering it as a information saving or something, but they're considering it as a threat. This is the most frequently voiced experience throughout our study. Uh, the next one is estual of terms and policies. This is not an indifference, but it is a response to the inaccessible design. All these terms are in English or in our national language, which is Hindi, and there are many text-heavy interfaces, and they are using jargons which native language people, native speakers, they're not able to understand. There are many people who don't know English or Hindi in our country, so they'll speak in their native language. So the terms, whenever they see terms like the background access, it'll actively provoke fear of messing something up. So users, they do trial and error method, and they proceed with their acceptance. So one of our participants, she shared her experience that like whenever there is a big terms and conditions, there will be a 2 page long, and she find it meaningless, because no one will spare that much time to read it and then press agree for that. So without reading it, she'll process it. So skipping all the policies, it's just not laziness. They're adapting to the interfaces that assume the level of literacy is high. But simply the users don't have that level of literacy. The next one is delegating digital decisions. So here, the trust substitutes the understanding of technology. They trust mostly their children, the many people like son, their nephews or grandchildren, and they act as informal caregivers. And sometimes, when they take a trusted advice, it actually blocks exploring the application. So this shows that the skills and agencies, whenever they are making the policies, they are concentrating only on a few household members instead of everyone, which here says that privacy is unevenly distributed. Everyday privacy workarounds. We call this as a tactical agency. It is not technically improvised, but a meaningful for the users. So whenever they don't want their family members to see their chats or something, they'll just use a fake account in Instagram, and they'll post it so that their family members will not understand that. This is how they understood privacy is. And they learned all of this from YouTube or through peers, not from the technical platforms. And this is the largest theme in our data set. Here, the users are not passive. They build their own protections, where the system often doesn't provide any privacy for them. Next one is fear of exposure and harm. So, for many women in our study, privacy isn't about settings. It is about their safety and dignity. Whenever we share our information with the food delivery apps or coaching centers or credit cards, we get many spam calls, right? That is a very big threat for them. So, community stories and many reputational harms that shape their behavior just as strong as a personal experience did. And there are many fake government sites that take our Aadhaar details and phone numbers. So what they do is they just don't provide the details instead of knowing about the technical knowledge. So now let's see what are the contributions from our findings. So we see as a resigned consent. It is a compliance without agreement. So they just the only path is they'll allow the terms and policies. The second one is compelled consent. So the consent is condition for access. It is not an expression of trust. So here the risk is understood, but there is no point of understanding because it's unavoidable. The third one is pragmatic privacy. It is improvised protection. It is built from trial and error method. The next one is interdependent privacy. So it's a privacy as a household condition. It is distributed unevenly across the trust, gender, and generational hierarchy. So these are the implications. So what are the policies? The policies can be in a simple and understandable language, and they can provide with icons, and they can build guest profiles which are easy for switching, and they should trial limited features first and explain what each permission is contextually, and they instead of trusting the local helpers, they can have an in-app guide, and number masking and restricted visibility should be a default setting rather than an opt-in. So the takeaways are for new internet users, privacy is a relationship. It's not a setting. This here you can scan my paper here, and for any for other contacts you can contact through this mail. Thank you.